What's happening YouTube? PokePhD here. Welcome to another PSA return video. So I got these guys in, returned to me earlier today. Had a little bit of trouble with FedEx and them delivering on time, but you know, we're over that now. We've got the cards back. So I'm going to quickly go through all the cards that I sent off, and you can see the kind of grades. And it's going to be it's another bulk submission return from a couple of months ago. This time it was actually the $15 submission, the offer at the time. So it took roughly a little less than 2 months again for the cards to be sent off, received, graded, and then returned to myself. So not bad at all. Again, a third under the expected 120 days. So you know, no complaints from me, far from it. Before we kind of get into the video though, I'd like to ask if you could please I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe, comment, like the video. I know no one likes to hear it, and I'm sure you hear it enough as you're watching videos on YouTube, but I would really appreciate it, and it would go a long way to helping me. So let's just get into the cards. So I've got 4 piles here. It's roughly around 100 cards. I think it's actually 85 or 83, something like that, so a little bit less than that. And it's a variety of older Diamond and Pearl EX era cards, and then mostly modern cards as well. So at this point I've sent off a lot of my vintage stuff, so it's kind of getting tough picking those up, so I'm just focusing more on modern full art, alt arts trainers. You'll see obviously as we kind of get into the cards. So first off, we are starting with a Marnie's Pride. It's a nice 10 there. I'm just going to put a few piles here. A Galarian Zapdos V as an 8. Not so sure about this one. Slightly off. I just wonder why it would have received an 8. Take a look. I can't really tell here. Got one in a 10 actually, which is nice. You can see here, and obviously matches its bro here, the Galarian Moltres V, looking insanely cool with the old red and black. That's one pile, right? Those are 10s. And here, moving on to a Pikachu V. Had a few of these in my last return as well. I'm not sure why I did that again, but that's another Marnie's Pride. I don't understand why they return them in pretty much a random order. I obviously don't send them in a random order. They're organized when they're sent, and then I basically receive them like it's like they just throw them they're like they see my pile of cards and they're like, okay, we're gonna send them back in 6 boxes, so how about we just take it in turns, putting a card in each box, and then this is what I end up with. So that's a PSA 9 Scyther. That's a non-holo as well, so disappointing that this doesn't get 10. The Lunatone Reverse Holo. Can't see too much scratching on there, so I'm not too sure why I got an 8. I'm pretty sure the back is I'm just gonna put these down, makes it a bit easier. The back is reasonably clean, I guess. There's a bit of whitening on the bottom. Probably explains that. They sent off a few of these Pikachu and Zekrom GX. It's not as nice, of course, as the Japanese versions, but still a pretty cool card nonetheless. Obviously, collection box card. Got a few of those collection boxes too, which is nice, and happy with the 10 on that. Another 8 on a Delta Species card. Again, let's have a look here. What am I looking at here? It's a little bit of dotting, whitening in the corners. I think that's a 9. Maybe it's a little. It's not even that off center, so it's a little bit of a smudge there. Maybe that contributed to the fact that it got an 8. Back on the modern 10s, another Rayquaza V. It's a nice card, of course, always a popular Pokemon. This is a Fire Red Leaf Green Holo, so this is a Victory Bell. Again, I just want to look at these 8s and see, do you know what, maybe they are being fair, and I'm just expecting, I was expecting more. With the 8s I'm expecting 9s, and with the 9s I'm expecting 9s and 10s perhaps. So yeah, my last return, I did think that I got a little bit of a tough grader. I thought they were fair, but like some cards that could have, there were a couple of the more vintage cards that they graded a 9, and I thought, you know, you could squeeze a 10 out of that. Or there were a couple that I thought were pretty flawless, and was kind of confused why they didn't. That's a nice one to get in 10. First one of those that I have in a 10. Another triumphant Celebi holo that I sent off. Sent off a few in the last one as well. Again, not too sure what I'm looking at. Yeah, it's a little bit of, you know, it's pretty clean. Obviously whitening there, that's just dust. Bit of whitening there. I think an 8, maybe a 9. I thought, you know, again, I thought 9 would be fair, but no, it is what it is. Another Pikachu full art, sent off a few of those. The Gardevoir EX from Steam Seed, so obviously the worst set of all time, maybe after Crimson Invasion, maybe after like half the black and white sets. That's it's not an unpopular opinion, but I think people are so quick to pay $2,000 for an average black and white set, and I just not the biggest fan of that. So I think this is probably the centering which made this a 9 and not a 10. Still don't think it's that bad. Then the Umbreon VMAX in the 10, happy with that, but it's a basic VMAX, nothing special. And then the 9 here. So what's wrong with this one? Pretty clean on the back. If anything, it's going to be the centering then, right? Maybe top to bottom it's a little bit high. I can see that. Let's get this next pile of cards over. So looks like we've got more Umbreons here. So another Umbreon in a 10. Like even I'm doing a better job organizing them now, just going through them, and they couldn't do that. They couldn't just return them in the order I submit them. That is a Machamp. Annoying that got. And it's so annoying when you submit modern cards and they come back as a 9. I mean, the margins on 10s are okay. Depends on the card, of course. But the 9s is just like, okay, well, I might just get my money back with my, the money I paid for grading. This is a nice one. I might just get that back. Otherwise, yeah, I'm basically probably losing out after fees and postage and stuff. Espeon full art from Evolving Skies. Here's probably a few random ones you might see over, in this pile. So this is a Dream Shine collection. So at this point you can see in the background there's the Keldeo, and then just out the way there is the Victini. They're all from the Mythical and Legendary Dream Shine collection. Those are obviously full arts, and this is just like a half art, or like a regular holo, ultra rare. No, it's just a holo, sorry. But you can see the holo pattern there, and it's the same for the other two cards as well. It's just fantastic. That's all right. Can't complain about 10. It's obviously more important to get the full arts at 10. But look how good they look. That holo pattern is just, it's like the old holo patterns, but just like obviously spread out through the entirety of the cards. Here's another alt art, so this is another Medicham. Another disappointing 9, probably again, is it the centering? Is it top to bottom again, or it's slightly not level? Which I found more and more common, because there's no whitening on the back. Oh, there's a little chip actually at the top there. That was not me, that was definitely them. I wouldn't send this if there was a little chip there, let's be honest. Which means either in the postage or likely PSA themselves. This probably just slightly off again. Don't recall there being any scratching. Maybe a little bit, I'm not sure if that's the case or not. And then it's pretty clean on the back. Disappointed again in this. That's just the cut, I don't think that's any whitening. This didn't get a 10. It's only a reverse holo as well, so it would have been nice. Just obviously another Pikachu. Suicune V as well. Obviously now we have the insane Suicune we're expecting in Crown Zenith, and obviously the one that's come out in V-Star Universe, which is cool. Can't wait for the to be honest, I'm quite hyped for Crown Zenith. The only annoying thing I find about the special sets is obviously there's only going to be ETBs and other random products. I think there was like Zacian and Zamazenta is a nice one. Glad this got the 10. Brilliant Stars Charizard. It's another Another Pikachu. I'm just going to put that next to the previous one, just so it's not more effort to organize. I think, yeah, there was like a Zamazenta and Zacian box, and there's going to obviously be another like few other collection boxes, that kind of thing. V-Star collection boxes. But the annoying thing is the ETBs. I'm just not a fan of the set only being in ETBs. Like, they take up so much room, they're so heavy, they're so clunky. I end up just throwing the box and everything else. I might, you know, let me know if I'm the only one who thinks that way. I had this in a binder for a long time, so glad to see this got at least an 8, which is nice. It's not necessarily super expensive or anything like that in an 8, obviously, but the fact that it was just a binder card with some whitening and stuff. I don't know why this got the 8. I think they've chipped that as well, because I definitely didn't send it like that. Slightly off as well. Deserves an 8 probably, I guess. That's probably the worst one, so this is probably going to have it's annoying again because I'm slowly getting all of these, grading all of these myself as well. The Dreamshine collection, and then I've got a filthy 5. Sure, this has probably got a bend or something, surface indent somewhere. Let me see if I can get the light to maybe show that off a little bit better. Can't necessarily see anything immediately. But it's so much nicer having booster boxes because they're so much more compact. They obviously, you open any product and you're gonna end up with a bit of a mess. But I just much prefer the booster boxes over the ETBs. Let me know if you agree, or if I'm just being too picky and complaining about the fact that the ETBs are as big as they are. I mean, they're just, I don't know, they're just full of crap that you obviously don't need again and again. So they could do a better job of just removing you know, I guess they obviously want to have that kind of product, especially useful for people who play the game, of course. But not a big fan of all the rest of the crap that comes in. You see how many booster packs that they pack into a booster box, and like 8 or 10 booster packs, they need the huge box for it. This I thought would be an 8 anyway, so I'm okay with this. Shiny Relicanth, it's always cool. Supreme Victors, what's that, SH8. Happy with that one, but I'm still gonna, sorry about that, just end up knocking my camera over. It's all good though. Be editing that out hopefully. This is a random crosshatch Pokemon League Donphan. I don't even know why I graded this. I just saw it and was like, oh, it's in reasonable condition. I'm kind of getting to that point now, like the difference for me between $15 and $10 grading, or like 8, like super cheap. I know it got as cheap as like $6, but for me it's not necessarily that big of a difference, especially obviously being in the UK, meaning that we've got a few more charges and things are generally a bit more expensive. I find it can be a little more or a little less ruthless, I guess, when it comes to grading. That's a nice one to get in a 10. Obviously we had the Yveltal before, but Arceus is always nice. The full art in that is fantastic. It's a non-rare from Holland Phantoms, which I sent for some reason. We'll just ignore that. Got about 5 of these, I think, at this point. Still not got the 10. This looked like a reasonable copy. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Tiny bit of whitening here, and even then it's not that much. Centering's not terrible. It's a little bit off, I guess, left to right, and it's not necessarily as straight as you'd like, so maybe that explains why. Here we finally have a full art from the Dreamshine collection. So there's a few more. There's the, obviously, as I mentioned, there's the Arceus, there's this Genesect, there's a Reshiram, I believe, as well. I think, I'm not too sure if all of the like half arts have a I don't want to cover that Palkia and Dialga, I'll just leave it here, if they necessarily have a full art version as well. But this is kind of nice. Cracked Ice, Theme Deck Meganium. Getting solid PSA 9. Manectric from EX Emerald. It's an 8, I guess nothing special here. I don't know, looks... Is that an 8 or is that a 9? Looks like a 9 to me, maybe again. I think the centering is terrible. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments if you agree. Here's another Nidoking, that's just going to be an 8. And there's another one that's an 8. Lots of 8s, lots of 8s. This is a cool card though, I like this, even regardless of the grade. Again, doesn't look like an 8, looks like a 9 to me. I don't know if there's a little bit of like kind of fraying in the corners. Maybe that's what's costing me, because a couple of those cars do look like that. There's a nice like shoulder swirl here, which is kind of cool. You can see that. I think that's pretty cool. It's literally just covering the kind of like shoulder blade. I mean, it's an Agron, it's cool anyway. And nice swirl placement always helps. Again, I think that's another binder card I had lying around, so happy with that. Here's a slacking. Is that a swirl there? A little bit. 8 there. Not too many more now. There's a few here and just another pile. So here's God, I forgot what this is called for a second. Cradilly. 9 again. It's probably more fair. The 9's got a little bit of whitening at the bottom here. I think more fair than a couple of other cars. Let me just say that. I'm not sure why this got the 8. It's probably, yeah, no, do you know what? This scratching on the hollow there, that's fair. Your reverse hollows are so annoying. They're so good to look at, and I think they're just really nice cards to collect. Trying to pick them up. Oh, is that double swirl? Oh, that's nice. I try to pick them up whenever I can, especially if they're cheap, or I get them at a good price. But like, I've just not had any luck grading them myself. I just find that they're a little bit too like, you get them out of the pack and you stick them in a sleeve, and as soon as you put it in a sleeve, you can already start to scratch the reverse hollow, just because it's on the entirety of the card, and you know, it just makes it tough. I didn't like that. I did not send it with that 100%. It was definitely clean. I wouldn't have sent it unless I thought it might get a 10. Same with the Arbok as well. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. We'll see if PSA actually do anything about that. So here is an Umbreon hollow from, well, the Prime from Undaunted. Same with the Espeon, random binder card, so happy again with that. The Galarian's at plus V. We'll quickly move through those. Move quickly through the modern stuff. I don't think it's necessarily as interesting as some of the other stuff. Again, another happy with that. Another Brilliant Stars 10. Another Pikachu. To put those away. Another 9. Looking. I'm telling you, I just cannot grade this thing in a 10. I think that's 6 or 7 I've sent off. Lots of 9s, lots of 10s. 7 Octillery. This card can go away. Don't like you. Here's another Dreamshine collection. Again, another half art though. Darkrai. Nothing wrong with a nice PSA 10 Darkrai. And then a couple of these golems from Legend Maker. 8 probably. So again, they might get 9s at a stretch. But a bit tough. I'm finding it tough recently, just with these older hollows. And the thing is, you expect them not to be as difficult just because there's not too much hollow, but again, they don't come out of the package as clean, and some of the centering, there's some issues there. It's a little bit, I guess, of fraying in this corner here and a little bit of whitening here, which is probably why that got an 8. What is worse than that though is the fact that you get non-hollow cards getting 8s. I can't see any. There's a little thing here. You're probably watching this thinking that I'm blind. I'm not as blind as you think, considering the glasses. I just have a very bad astigmatism. You can see there's a bit of a hollow shift here, which is nice. And it's obviously Mrs. Tentacle. I don't know actually. It's the weird. Is this a thing where it's kind of got this like hollow background line? There's definitely a shift, right? But then there's nothing here. Push it on away from the actual art. Sort of cool cards. Shame about the grade. I mean, these 8s are okay. I'm hoping that they're going to get 9s at least. I'm not expecting them to get 10s most of the time. Let's not even mention you. I'm hoping that they can get 9s. That's a nice swirly. Look at that swirl, how it moves. Lovely. I'm hoping they can get 9s. I'm not expecting that many of them to get 10s. I do send off some. I was expecting a few 10s here. But again, the 10s come back as 9s and the 9s come back as 8s. So, you know, maybe it's me. I think maybe I just don't have to pre-grade cards even. That's another Marnie Pride. I think that's the third one. That's the old hat trick there. The old Marnie hat trick. Here's a cool card. I think it's a really interesting art. Obviously, it's a Pop Series 1 card. I don't know. Swampert is a cool Pokemon. It's a different kind of. Who's the artist for this? Oops. It is Sugiyama. A little bit different. It's cool. The 8 pile is unfortunately very high. Nice. I think a couple more of these mythical shine collections. So I think I'm not sure if Manaphy, there's a full art Manaphy. I don't know if they all the half art have full art. Pretty sure there's there's definitely the full art Volcanion because it's in the Mega collection in English. Obviously has the yellow border in English, but it's in the Mega collection. Disappointing this didn't get a 10, but not that big of a deal. Be nicer if this pile was maybe the same size as this and vice versa, but unfortunately that's not the case. That's another 10 Rayquaza. Can't complain with some of the modern grades, to be fair. Happy with most of those, but again, I'm sending off pretty good condition card, so when I get a Flareon and a Jolteon and a 9, it is a bit disappointing. This is a really nice card. I think this is quite an underrated card. It's a Dragonite. I'm a big fan, but I don't think as many people are. But thanks for checking out the video. I know this is a bit long, but I wanted to kind of go through all the cards, and it's nice to kind of talk a little bit about them. And I just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, as I mentioned earlier, if you can leave a like, subscribe, anything to help out would be much appreciated even. And if you want to check me out on Instagram, my links will be in the description on Instagram. And I'm also, I've only done one show and whatnot, but it was a good time, so I just need to kind of schedule another one. So yeah, stay tuned for any announcements for that kind of thing, and just like to say thanks for checking out the video.